So about 20 something years ago, me and a friend were driving to work. I was in the passenger seat. We got pulled over. I don't remember why. I don't think we were speeding because the guy that was driving, not one of those people that cared about speeding. We also were really early, thank God. Um, we get pulled over and the cop says, "Well, I smell marijuana. We need to search his car." There was no marijuana in the car. Neither one of us smelled like marijuana. The guy that I was driving with was not that sort. Actually, I know 100% he wasn't that sort. And so we spent the next, I think it was like 45 minutes, almost an hour, on the side of the road as several cops searched the vehicle, tore it apart, did a lot of not good things for my buddy's magic trick. He did magic tricks for kids. So we're talking all kinds of like little props and stuff like that to do magic. And the entire time, he called in people. We had like three or four cop cars there searching the vehicle. One of the cops that was forced to show up there, like saw what was going on, looked at me, rolled his eyes, and just shook his head. This just is a stupid reason to get a search for a vehicle. Now, you may think, oh, it's found some things. It's also annoyed a lot of people. So I'm going to do three clips and then I'm going to cover a few more things about this stupidity after you see these three clips. And it's of various states in there searching because of the smell of marijuana. Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Breaking down more of Governor Hochul's budget for the new year.
One aspect of the proposal would give back law enforcement some ability to use the smell of cannabis to determine reasonable cause during a traffic stop. That's something that since 2021, when the state legalized recreational cannabis, police have been prohibited from doing. The language doesn't go all the way back, but specifies that the smell of marijuana could be used to support a court-ordered blood test, especially when involving a crash or a personal injury accident. Advocates worry it could be applied liberally by law enforcement.
Evidence that the person's driving high. But secondly, and maybe arguably more importantly, is you find perhaps other evidence of other crimes.
Assembly Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes worries, though, that the change could recriminalize the cannabis plant. Advocates point out that it could also be a lot more complicated to enforce this because simply having marijuana in your car, it's not illegal.
This is new at 11. The smell that comes from smoking marijuana is not enough probable cause for police to search a vehicle. The Illinois Supreme Court made that ruling yesterday, citing the changes in the state's cannabis law, which was legalized nearly 5 years ago. Comes from a 2020 case where a Chicago man was pulled over and his car was searched after the officer smelled marijuana. A subsequent search turned up an ounce of marijuana in his car.
It's also important to be able to note that marijuana is still illegal in North Carolina, but stores can sell certain amounts of hemp.
As the debate over legalizing the drug heats up in the Tar Heel state, it's calling another policy into question. Is the smell of marijuana enough to force for police to search a car? A petition recently filed to the state Supreme Court says otherwise. Our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes, joins us now. So, Khalif, what exactly is this petition challenging?
It's our fundamental constitutional right. So let's start there. Fourth Amendment, you are protected from unlawful searches and seizures. And so if ever you are stopped or someone is attempting to stop you, they're going to need a warrant to do that, unless there's a couple of things that can happen, specifically unless their officer has probable cause to stop you. So that is exactly what's happening here. In this case, the officer said that he smelled marijuana, and additionally, he smelled marijuana in some type of scent that was covering the smell of marijuana. The individual was convicted for carrying a firearm by a felon and also having marijuana in the vehicle. And then they've appealed it. The Court of Appeals said that, yes, they noted that the smell was enough for probable cause. And the court also noted that the secondary scent was something that the court took into consideration for the probable cause, something that was never seen before. So this case is now being challenged to the Supreme Court to see if that is enough on a couple of grounds. Specifically, hemp being legal since 2015 smells exactly the same as marijuana. So with the nose, now has the law kind of got bypassed since they passed this marijuana hemp legalization in 2015. Smell before has always been something that's been listed, but now if it smells the same as something else that's legal, how can you now be found probable cause for that? That is what the problem is. That's the crux of the case.
Be a skunk in your car for all.
It could be something else, or it could be something legal. And so if you're doing something legal, now the officers don't have a legal right to stop you. They don't have a legal right to search you. And so relying on the scent only of marijuana is problematic. Relying on the scent only in accompanied with a scent cover is also problematic, and that's what this complaint is saying.
Okay, so I have to ask you, so this petition says that the ruling gives police kind of a workaround, allowing them to execute a warrantless traffic search. So talk to us exactly about what that means so people can really understand what that workaround is.
Again, if you don't have a search warrant, and I used to issue search warrants as a chief magistrate, an officer would come to me and they would identify the probable cause which they believe would be a reason that they needed to search you, and I would grant them, and then they would go and search you. But in every other circumstance, when they don't have a search warrant, they have to have probable cause to stop you. And so what this case and what this petition is saying is that you don't have a search warrant and you don't have probable cause, but now you're finding a way to go around that by saying, I don't really smell marijuana, but even if I don't smell marijuana, I smell a high smell of perfume or cologne that's attempting to mask the marijuana smell. So now that's giving me enough for probable cause. And if I can quickly help folks understand the standard, because probable cause is established, it is that you can point to facts or circumstances that a reasonable person will believe that a crime has occurred or that that person has committed the crime. So that's pretty clear. Saying that I smell like a lot of cologne is not enough.
Makes you wonder if it could have further reaching impacts that I wish we could get into today.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this is a long conversation,
as usual,
but we're out of time. But yeah, thanks, Khalid.
Now here's the thing. Yes, there are people that smoke weed. Yes, there are people that probably, if they're driving high, well, okay, if somebody's driving high, okay, fine. That's a person that I will agree with you that needs to be drug tested. But here's the problem with this. As was just found out in a case that went before the Supreme Court, this being used as a reason to force somebody to have their vehicle searched sounds as stupid as it is. And the amount of harm that it's done towards the reputation of cops, well, smell marijuana, when the people know full well that they're not breaking the law and are forced to sit there through a search of their vehicle because this cop just lied and gets to say, well, I thought I smelled it. I have no love of the cops that use this as a pretext for a search when they know for a fact they didn't smell anything. Yes, cops can lie, and I have seen it on multiple occasions. And this is a thing that annoys me about cops. That they get away with it because they've got a badge. And it's gotten to the point now where you have these lists. I forget what they're called, but they're lists of known cops who are liars that have proven to not be worth what their badge actually is. And they're disgraced to the badge and they're disgraced to their communities. And to those good cops that that try every day to be a hero to their community, or even just try to be a servant to their community, they're they're made to look bad because of cops that do things like, I smell marijuana, I got to search your vehicle. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me, but I've seen this used enough times as a pretense when it's a lie that, yeah, I don't agree with it. And I want to know what your opinion is, though. I really want to know what your opinion is. Do you think that cops should be allowed to pull somebody over and make this claim and be able to search their vehicle? This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.